Summers County has become one of the greatest powers in all of West Virginia high school sports. Today, they will look to win a remarkable fourth straight AA state title. Standing in the way are the Scott Skyhawks, who will be doing their best to make their own history by knocking off the Lady Bobcats. Metro News Sports, in conjunction with Suddenlink, are proud to present the State Girls High School AA Championship basketball game. And this afternoon, it's the Scott Skyhawks against the Lady Bobcats of Summers County. Hi, everybody. He's Fred Persinger. I'm Hoppy Kercheval. Welcome into the Charleston Civic Center Coliseum for the AA title game. Fred, it's what you want because it's number 1 Summers County against number 2 Scott.
You're right, Hop. It's the game everyone's been pointing to all season long. The two best teams in Class AA. They've been there at the top all year long, and everyone thought it would come down to this game. It's going to be a good one this afternoon.
Let's talk about Scott and who leads them. Mackenzie White, just a sophomore, but everything runs through number 3.
No doubt about it, leads the team in assists, rebounds, steals. She's very strong with the ball. She can take it to the hoop, which she does quite often, but also she'll pull up and hit that 3 for you.
Now for Summers County, you'll think you're seeing double. They have identical twins in Hallie and Hannah Gano. Let's talk about Hallie Gano.
Very special player. She finished second in State Player of the Year balloting, finished second to Mariah Byard of North Marion. She has actually put her thumbprint on every aspect of this game for Summers County.
It's the AA championship in girls basketball in West Virginia. Summers County versus Scott. We'll meet the starting lineups and tip it off right after this. Starting lineups are brought to you by Friends of Coal, committed to clean energy, your job, and a better quality of life for all West Virginians. For Scott and Summers County, starting lineups today. Watch out for Scott. They're going to go down low to Brittany Atkins. She averages 9 rebounds a game and 12 points. And for Summers County, great outside shot from Leslie Mack, just a sophomore, but she's had an outstanding tournament, averaging 18 points. We are ready to tip it off here at the Charleston Civic Center. AA championship game. Scott, the Skyhawks, and Summers County Bobcats. Fred Persinger, what do you see early in this game?
You got to watch for the pressure of the Summers County Bobcats to get all over Scott. John Porter made a change in his starting lineup, change that he hadn't had all tournament long. Normally starting Kristen Stevens, 5'3", and a junior. He's going with Shanice Price, a 5'11" senior. Needs to get some size and help down inside for Brittany Adkins.
White dribbled into trouble. First turnover there for Scott. And now a turnover on the other end by Summers County. Little jitters early by both teams.
Summers County stole the ball on their defensive side. That's the 61st steal they've had in this tournament. State tournament record for a team, 65. They're 4 away from that. They set the single game steals record with 38 in the quarterfinal round win.
You have to double check that number. Can you imagine? I mean, you don't have to, but if you hear that, you think 38 steals, you kidding me?
Everything
from the corner, the 3 is good by Sierra Bias. That's a 2. Foot was on the line. 2-0 Scott. Entry pass, tied up, and Scott comes out. Well, the tie-up continues. Held basketball, and Scott will have it. There's Coach John Porter in his 29th year. Had a great year this year.
Great year, 22-4. His kids have really bought into what he's trying to do at Scott High School.
That's Hallie Gano from the free throw line. Rebound taken by her sister Hannah. Now out to Brown. 3 is off the front of the rim. Another opportunity for Summers County, and a foul is committed by Scott. That's Coach Wayne Ryan in his 15th year. 324-71. What a job he's done at Summers County.
They've won 67 in a row, 3 state championships. I mean, they are just a machine.
Hallie Gano wanted to get one more pass in there, and it's another turnover for the Bobcats.
Slow start for Summers County, something they're not used to. Normally they jump in your face and they stay there. Right now, though, the shots are just not falling.
But they create so much on the defensive end. Good job by Mackenzie White breaking the press. Now it's Bias again, this time from the other side, off the back of the rim. Rebound is taken by Atkins off the glass. Shot doesn't go, but she draws the foul.
Again, you saw why John Porter put Shanice Price in the starting lineup. She really helps out on the weak side. She kept that rebound alive, and Brittany Atkins was able to get it and head to the hoop. Turned it over from the weak side, put it up strong, just bounced off the rim.
Foul was on Hannah Gano. Atkins at the free throw line, a 56% free throw shooter. She's a 6-foot senior. Shot's no good, but she comes out of there with the rebound. Tadlock off the dribble. Front of the rim, rebound taken by the Bobcats. They'll go the other way, trailing 2-0. Brown off the glass, too strong. Rebound taken by the Skyhawks. They'll run the other way. Looking for numbers. There's the kickback to White, too strong, but another opportunity for the Skyhawks. We're used to the Bobcats running. What about the Skyhawks getting up and down the court, Fred?
Well, that's what they normally do all the time. They love to run with the basketball. Great job by Ashley Brown. 5-second close guarding for that turnover for Summers County. Here's what you're going to see before too long from Wayne Ryan. He's going to call a timeout to get this thing settled in. Ashley Brown plays a tight defense and closely guarded for 5 seconds. Could have been 7, 8, or 9 because she wasn't going anywhere.
Mack for three. Good. That is Leslie Mack's spot, Fred. She camps out there, and if she gets any sort of look at all, she's going to launch it. 3-2. Now Summers County with their first lead.
Her 7th three-pointer of this tournament. She's now 7 of 15 from three-point range in this tournament. Great shooter.
You mentioned Ashley Brown, the point guard, one of 4 Brown sisters to play or have played for Wayne Ryan.
Well, 2 of them will play today. Her younger sister is Candace. Of course, Jolisa and Sierra both played college ball. Jolisa still playing at the University of Concord.
Back-to-back threes by the sophomore Leslie Mack. The Bobcats will have to come out and challenge her. 6-2 Summers County. Well, Leslie Mack has already scored over 1,000 points. She's only a sophomore.
Only a sophomore. One of the purest shooters you'll see in this high school game.
Into Atkins off the glass. Atkins is a big-time post player, and she has her first 2.
But the one thing that the coaching staff from Summers County said they were concerned about, the guards of Scott throwing it over their guards to get it to Atkins, and Atkins finished strong.
Brown off the back of the rim. Rebound is taken up by Mackenzie White. She pushes it down the court to Bias. Great pass by White to Bias. Give the assist to White. 2 more for Sierra Bias. How about the pass? It was only one place it could go.
Mackenzie White, not only a great penetrator, great scorer, but she's, as we mentioned, a great assist person for this Scott Skyhawk.
Hannah Gano off side of the rim, and it will stay with the Bobcats.
Difference in this ball game right now, when you're playing Summers County, the fact remains a lot of teams don't think they can win. Scott believes they can beat Summers County. Great assist pass from Mackenzie White, and Sierra Bias laid it home for her 4th point of the afternoon.
They believe they can beat Summers County, which nobody has, because they came close twice this year. Didn't beat them, played them twice, but came close.
1 by 10, Summers County did at their place, and at Scott, the difference of victory was 8 points, but in that ball game, Scott led most of the way.
Hold against Summers County. Not a shooting violation.
But it's obvious what John Porter's decided to do in this game. He's going to take it right down inside because of the aggressiveness of the Summers County guards, those reach-in fouls that he'll get, and he knows that he's got Brittany Adkins inside on that low post that can really handle the ball.
Well, what we've seen, the teams who've played so far against Summers County who've not been successful in this tournament, is that when they start fooling around with the ball outside, passing it around, that's where that swarming defense of Summers County really gets opponents in trouble.
Well, you look at Summers County, their margin of victory in their 20 regular season wins, almost 40 points. But against the Scott Skyhawks, as we mentioned, they won by 10 and they won by 8. Average margin of victory was only 9 points. So Scott has played them tougher than any team they've played so far.
Hallie Gano gives Summers County a 2-point lead, but is tied up again on the jumper from Shanice Price. Good ball game early.
Well, that's what you expect. Number 1 against number 2. And these two teams were clearly the 2 best teams in AA this year.
That's Hannah Gano, gets over to Brown. Brown gets her own rebound. Second try won't go, but there's Gano. So Hallie Gano with great position. She has 4 points. Now a steal and another bucket by Gano, and it's 12-8 just that quickly. Foul against Candace Brown. The relentless defense of Summers County gives opponents fits. So Wayne Ryan and his Bobcats have a 12-8 lead with 3:15 left to go in the first quarter. A frenzied start to the AA championship here in Charleston between Scott and Summers County. Summers County fans have something to cheer about early. Their team's up 12-8 over Scott in the AA championship game here at the Charleston Civic Center. Your thoughts so far, Fred?
Well, it's been exactly what we thought. It's going to be Summers County, relentless defensive pressure. The one thing you got to love about this team as far as rebounding the ball, they watch the ball. They do not watch the game. Another steal by the Bobcats.
Into Mack, had the shot blocked by Price. Good job by Price getting a hand up there, blocking the shot without committing the foul.
Well, you're getting so much help. Shanice Price is helping Brittany Adkins so much down inside. And that's why right now we have a close ball game. Those two kids inside are making this a game. Mackenzie White has not scored so far in this ball game, the leading scorer on the team for the Scott Skyhawks.
Wayne Ryan there, and when the game begins, he calls the press, and it stays on the whole game.
That's what they play. They will pressure you from the opening tip to the final horn. Even in those games they're winning by 40, the kids that came out off the bench, they don't play zone. They play in your face all game.
Shot is short by Bias. Goes out of bounds. And a check with the side official says it was not touched by anybody from Summers County. So John Porter's team will go into a defensive set here.
Yeah, just great defense by Hannah Gano. Made Sierra have to change her shot. She didn't have enough to get to the rim.
Carey called against Hallie Gano. 2:26 to go in the first quarter, 12-8 Summers County, as Scott tries to interrupt the Bobcats' quest for a fourth consecutive championship. Mackenzie White behind the back in the middle. Ball gets away and taken back by the Bobcats. Quickly down, and Hallie Gano beats the defense, and she has 8 points early. And it's 14-8, biggest lead so far for Summers County. Watch out here, Scott.
Came into the tournament, Hallie Gano averaging 21. She's had 15.5-point average in this tournament, already 8 in this first quarter of play.
Now Gano comes down with a rebound on the other end, and she gets a push. So a foul is called against John Porter's Skyhawks.
The concerned look on the face of John Porter. He cannot let this game get away from him. The one thing you gotta love about Hallie Gano and the rest of these Bobcats, again, as I mentioned, they do not watch the game. They watch the ball, and that's why they're always in great rebounding position.
They remind me of, as Matt lines up for a three, rebound taken by Scott. But you see the swarming for the basketball. They're like a hive of bees, Fred, that you find out in the yard and you hit it with a bat or something, and they just start swarming.
There's no question. They want the ball, and they go after it. They go get the ball. And finally, Ashley Brown, I mean, she was like a pinball bouncing all off the floor, off players, finally went down and went out of bounds with it.
I think Scott trying to give Summers County a little bit of their own medicine there by really getting some hands in there and getting the defense. They beat the press this time, but Summers County gets back on the shot by Tadlock, and Tadlock draws the foul by Mack.
Good night. Nice job by Katie Tadlock. Instead of just trying to put the jump shot up, she went with the scoop shot knowing she was going to get the foul. Good pass from Bias inside the little scoop shot, and Mack was on her arm.
Katie Tadlock, a senior 55% free throw shooter. Her first points in the game. She's had 9 points in each of these 2 tournament games here in Charleston. One of 2. Rebound. Taken out by Lively. 14-9 Summers County. Quarter number 1. Lively from three-point range off the front of the rim. Rebound, though. Mack gets it back. Another opportunity for Summers County. Entry pass. That was Brown to Brown. Ball goes out of bounds.
If you're John Porter, Hop, the one thing you have to be concerned about right now is the number of rebounds that Summers County continually getting in this first quarter. He has got to get Price and Adkins more on the boards to get some rebounds to stop some of these third and fourth shots by the Bobcats.
Mack for 2 off the back of the rim, but Hallie Gano is there for the rebound. Tied up, ball nearly goes out of bounds, and it's going to be Scott basketball. Ball nearly gets the ball gets away, and it's back the other way for Summers County, and a basket. Momentarily distracted because Brittany Atkins came diving over to save the ball and came right into the broadcast area.
Brittany Adkins just could not chase the ball down, but nice to see both of us there to try and help her out so she wouldn't crash into us. On the other end, Hallie Gano has her 10th point and looking for number 11 at the free throw line.
Foul is on Tadlock. So Hallie Gano, Fred, you talked about her in the open, and she must have heard you because she's producing here in this first quarter. 11 points in this first quarter for Hallie Gano.
5 of 7 shooting. She's had some real nice looks inside.
Tadlock drives in, rebound this time by Hannah Gano. Here comes Candace Brown, the younger sister of Ashley Brown. The Scott fans are really giving the officials fit. They want foul calls here on these plays. Other ways, Mackenzie White, a lot of traffic down there. White goes down, and Scott will inbound the basketball.
Nice drive to the basket by Mackenzie White. And once she gets the ball, she's off to the races. Took it down deep inside, got bumped and fouled. Missed the first drive, but got her own rebound.
Foul was committed there by Hallie Gano. That's her first, and team foul number 5. Bias gets a little crease, up with the floater, and can't beat the clock. So pretty thrilling first quarter of play here in this AA championship game between Summers County and Scott. And right now, the Bobcats have a commanding 17-9 lead, second quarter, on Metro News Sports coming up. Back at the Charleston Civic Center Coliseum for the second quarter of the AA championship game between Summers County and Scott. Coach John Porter there trying to figure out how to deal with this relentless pressure from Summers County that has caused the Skyhawks to commit 9 turnovers, 7 steals so far for Summers County.
I think also he has got to implore Shanice Price and Brittany Adkins, you have got to get down inside and get on the boards, because even though the rebounding difference is only 2, right now Summers County has had 7 more shots on goal than Scott.
Steps by Hallie Gano.
See that face right there? That's about as happy as he gets in a game from Wayne Ryan.
I know, he just...
Very intense.
Well, and his players reflect the coach's intensity. Hallie Gano off the dribble. And Hallie Gano has come out in this AA championship game red hot. She has 13 points, 19-9, biggest lead so far for Summers County early in the second quarter. Atkins tried to get the ball to White, slips away. Hands, feet, all on the court, and somehow Hannah Gano comes out with the basketball and gets it to her twin sister Hallie.
Looked like a scrum in rugby, so many kids on the floor that time.
Mack for 3, front of the rim, rebound, taken by Price. Price needs help. Now White will push. Great bounce pass from White to Sierra Bias. Misses the shot. So does Tadlock. But Summers County defense prevails there. Scott still has the basketball. Now for 3, it's good by Mackenzie White. Her first points of the ball game.
Exactly, and maybe that's what she will need to get her jump started.
But what about that bounce pass? That one-handed bounce pass. It was perfect.
Great floor vision by Mackenzie White. That's why she leads this team with 6 assists per game.
Hallie Gano again, and again it's a 2. 15 points for Hallie Gano. Mackenzie White gets it over to Bias. Entry pass to Atkins. Try to get Atkins active in this game. Shot won't go, and a rebound taken by the Bobcats. Ashley Brown, the senior, presses. Takes a drop step off the glass. Rebound Atkins. A furious pace. White will push the other way. Tried to pass around Gano. Didn't quite make it. Now it's Price. Shot no good. And we'll go the other way.
The key point, Hop, on that missed shot. 3 Summers County kids in the lane to get the rebound. Only 1 for Scott, and that was Brittany Adkins. Everyone else well outside.
Max 3 is long, but the putback is there and the foul.
Nice job by Candace Brown to finish. As the rebound came off on the weak side, Candace was right there, put it up and through, and will go to the free throw line. Ball almost missed everything up there except the back of the board, and Candace was right there in position to grab the rebound and put it back. Her first points of the contest.
Candace Brown, a sophomore, 70% free throw shooter, fastest player on the team, which is saying something. Now the officials having a discussion here, Fred. What do you think they're talking about?
Hard to tell. Both of them are over there, and they are talking with not only the official scorer. I also saw Pat Vergale, who is the officials interpreter, who sits there at press row on the far side.
By the way, the officials are Mark Mayle, Colin Petonic, and Richard McGuire for this AA championship game.
Now, Mr. Mayle is talking over something with Wayne Ryan and that Summers County coaching staff.
And Scott has called a timeout. So we'll sort it out and explain it to you when we come back. Right now, Summers County has the commanding lead over Scott. Back here at the Charleston Civic Center, Summers County leads Scott in the second quarter of this AA championship game. And Fred, after all that, what did we find out?
Well, much ado about nothing, I think. They thought it would, one of the shots taken by Summers County was credited with a 3, when indeed it was a 2. So the scoreboard is right. It's 24-12 after that made free throw by Candace Brown.
Scott on the other end. And Bias's shot doesn't go, but a foul is committed.
Been really impressed with Scott and the way they've taken the ball to the basket. They're not content, and through the first 2 games of this state tournament, they've been content to stay outside and pop the 3, whether it's Mackenzie White or Sierra Bias or even Katie Tadlock. But this game, John Porter knows he has to take it at the rim because the guard play for Summers County is so strong, and we've talked about it so many times, relentless on defense. They'll slap the ball away from you given an opportunity.
Also, as Bias makes 1 of 2, she has 5, 24-13, is that Summers County goes deeper, Wayne Ryan goes deeper to his bench than John Porter, so they can wear you down, particularly with that style of play that they use.
Wayne Ryan will play 10 players easily, while for John Porter, 6, 7 at the most.
Turnover Summers County. White comes the other way, working on Gano. Kicks it over to Bias, off the back of the rim, and rebound taken out by Lively. Now we'll run the other way with Ashley Brown. Now back-to-back turnovers by the Bobcats.
You know, you watch this ball game. So what a screen set by Brittany Adkins, and I mean to tell you, it was Candace Brown going hard to the floor just now, getting up. Nothing wrong with the play. I mean, Candace Brown came running into a screen set up by Brittany Adkins, and Brittany Adkins, obviously just a much bigger girl, and I mean, it was blindsided, certainly a legal play, and Candace took a while to shake off the cobwebs. But she's back out on the floor. Talk about tough kids.
Yeah, she did not see that one coming.
No.
That's like going over the middle in football, wasn't it? But as you said, it's a legal, completely legal play because Atkins didn't move at all. Was perfectly still, and the player dribbling by used the screen the way you're supposed to use the screen.
Yeah, beautiful execution.
On the other side, Gano has the shot partially blocked by White. White wants to run. Pounded on defense. Now a turnover the other way. Here comes Gano. Hallie Gano with the basketball. And converts. Hallie Gano has 17 points. It's 26-15. The lead is out to 11.
As good as Mackenzie White is, you cannot dribble through a triple team of Summers County Bobcats, and that's what she tried to do.
Mack picks up her second foul, so that means that Leslie Mack and Hannah Gano, 2 starters, each has 2 fouls, and that will bring Morgan Gore into the game.
I'll tell you, though, Huff, you look out on the floor for Summers County, Leslie Mack is going to be seated with 2 personal fouls, and Mackenzie White of Scott. You watch them play. It is so tough to believe they're only sophomores.
It really is. Which tells you, and you look at what Wayne Ryan has, that you would not be surprised to see him back here next year in Charleston.
They returned 7 of those top 10 that we talked about.
Gore, entry pass to Lively, short off the glass, rebound by Atkins. And White will push the other way. Bias is dogged by Gano. Over to Atkins. And in position for the rebound is Summers County.
Yeah, nice job by Kelsey Lively to screen off Shanice Price and get that rebound for the Bobcats. Pace has slowed just a little bit.
Well, it would have to slow occasionally just to get a rest. They go at such a frantic pace to both of these teams.
You talk with Wayne Ryan of Summers County, and this is exactly the way his kids practice. It's 2 hours of relentless basketball every time they get in the gym.
What they think too, Fred, and I heard you talking to one of the assistant coaches, they don't think the teams they play can create in their practice what it's like to play against them.
That's exactly, and that's why they're so tough when they get to the floor. They've played 5 other very good players in practice.
5-second call.
Again, we go back to that defense, and it's not, they do not take a play off. You'll see a lot of teams, they'll take a play off from time to time, not Summers County. Consequently, they're leading by 11 in the state championship game.
Well, if you take a play off for Wayne Ryan, I have a good idea where you're going to end up. 26-15, coming up on 3 minutes to play in the second quarter. Gore will try the 2, and it's good. Foot was on the line, so that's 2 for Morgan Gore. 28-15, 13-point lead for Summers County.
One of 3 seniors in this top 10 for Wayne Ryan.
Mackenzie White, spin move, kicks it out. Shot by Stevens is short. Stevens gets her own rebound. And Lively comes out of there with the basketball.
Every possession, you're going to be double teamed at least by Summers County.
One of the problems for Scott is they've not been able to get Brittany Atkins active in this game yet like she's capable of doing.
Nor is Mackenzie White. Mackenzie White has created a few things. Just a couple of things have not been finished with those long, great bounce passes we saw. But Mackenzie White normally makes herself much more involved as far as scoring. She's not been able to do that today. Credit Summers County.
Mackenzie White does not have numbers, but takes it in anyway with a great shot. Mackenzie White splits the defense and gets her 7th point. Didn't look like there was much there.
That's my point about getting involved. She's been doing that all season long, yet for whatever reason this afternoon, and again, credit Summers County's defense, she's not been able to create like she just did on that last play. No way she has an opening. As she crossed the timeline, she looked behind her, saw the defense coming. All of a sudden, she gets there. There's 2 Summers County Bobcats, but she goes right through them. She went right through Hallie Gano. That's not easy to do.
Mackenzie White, 5'9", sophomore guard. A lot of youth in this ball game today that we're going to see in at least a year, and in some cases a couple of years to come. You think about the Gano sisters, you think about Mackenzie White, you think about Candace Brown and Leslie Mack.
Well, you look at Scott, they start 3 seniors. And then you've got Mackenzie White coming back for a couple of years, and that's going to be very, very good for John Porter's ball club. 22-4. They're the number 2 seed in the tournament, deservedly so. Right now, though, they're running into, without question, the best team in Class AA basketball in the state, and they have been there for quite some time.
Well, they have won. Summers County has won 67 consecutive games.
67. Think about that.
It's unimaginable. Foul committed by Candace Brown. So a little bit of a foul situation here for Summers County. Candace Brown has 2. Hannah Gano has 2. Leslie Mack has 2. And she'll take a seat. Coming in is Carrie Hudson.
And you know, you talk about this winning streak. This year alone, they came into this tournament 25-0. They had 7 wins over Class AAA teams: Princeton, Beckley, Brooke, Hedgesville, Greenbrier East. It's not that Summers County is playing a weak schedule. He will play anyone that wants to play, and that's why he was so thankful that John Porter saw it that way this year. They both knew they were going to be the 2 best teams in AA, and they scheduled home and home. That's important.
But you would think, it's like thinking about Connecticut women in basketball. At some point, you just have an off night, and somebody gets it. That's what usually happens.
Talked with Wayne Ryan Wednesday of this week when they arrived in Charleston. He said it's the one thing that they haven't thought too much about because of the work ethic of his kids. He said if they were going to take a night off or have a bad night, you would think it might happen in practice. It never does. They come in with a mission in mind every time.
Hallie Gano with her 19th point plus the foul.
Nice strong move inside again. She saw the ball coming off. She trailed the play, came in, grabbed the rebound, took it right back up.
Her average is 21 points, and she has 20 with that made free throw in the first half. 31-19. Now a 12-point lead as White goes down, and they call a blocking foul against Summers County. That's going to be on Hudson.
Nice move to the basket. Good spin move through the lane from Mackenzie White. Shot wouldn't fall, but she's at the charity stripe again.
Scott beat Liberty 56-35 in the opening round of the tournament, and beat Tulsa 49-45. Pretty good ball game the other day to get to the championship game. Got some big free throws from Price in that game at the end to secure it for Scott and get into this championship game.
Very early in the game to talk about individual records. Hallie Gano has 20 points, most points ever scored in a Class AA state tournament game. 37 points by Missy Spangler of Ritchie County.
Ball rolls out of bounds, and Scott will have it as Coach John Porter sets up the offense.
Continuing to hang around 10, 11 points. Certainly you don't want it to see any greater than that when you get to halftime. Important trip down the floor for the Skyhawks.
And the ball is stolen away. Over to Ashley Brown. Ashley's going to beat the defense, but too hard off the glass. Opportunity there gets away for Summers County. Foul is committed by Lively. So Lively rushed in and tried to make the steal, made a lot of contact, and she commits the foul. And Scott will go to the free throw line, and Lively took a hard hit there.
Always going for the ball. Always going for the ball. The last time down the floor, the steal by Hallie Gano. If you're an offensive player, do not take your eye off the ball, because I promise you Summers County is eyeing to take it away from you.
So that puts White back on the free throw line, where she is 3 of 4 so far this afternoon. She has 10 points, now 11. Substitution, and Lively, who took that shot, will come out. And Brooke Edwards comes in. Solid day so far for Mackenzie White on the free throw line. She has 12 to lead the Skyhawks. But they're down 31-22. They did get it into single digits.
That's where John Porter would love to keep it with 25 seconds left in this first half.
Ashley Brown being hounded there by Tadlock. Gives over to Gano.
And now it would appear that defensive pressure of Scott has been stepped up. Nice steal.
Bias, the pass, over to White, and it's good. 31-24, a late flurry by Scott to end this first half. So Summers County was doing what Summers County always does, harassing opponents, scoring points in rushes. but back came Scott with a couple of steals, and Mackenzie White getting a couple of key buckets there.
No question about it. She made a great job. And again, they stepped up that defensive pressure. We'll see what happens in the second half.
Summers County. It's halftime at the Charleston Civic Center in the Metro News Sports presentation of the West Virginia SSAC Girls AA Championship basketball game between Summers County and Scott, along with Fred Persinger. I'm Hoppy Kercheval, and a thrilling first half that almost saw Summers County pull away at one point, Fred, with Hallie Gano's 20 points in the first two quarters.
Yeah, you're right. They were playing Summers County basketball, and I thought Scott started off great and then backed off a little bit, and Summers County really took advantage of it. But the last 90 seconds of that second quarter, Scott said, hey, we're still in this ball game, and they cut that lead, which was 13, all the way down to 7 at halftime. I think it's going to be a very, very impressive third and fourth quarter coming up.
Yeah, Mackenzie White heated up. She got 14. I think if you're John Porter, you can say, hey, we took their best shot, and we're in this ball game.
Exactly right, and that's what they had to do. They had to withstand that pressure they knew they were going to get.
We're coming back here to Charleston Civic Center, our halftime score in the AA championship game. Summersville 31, Summers County 31, Scott 24. Halftime here at the Charleston Civic Center in the AA championship game, and it's Summers County leading Scott 31-24. Highlights from the first half, Fred. And one of the weapons for Summers County is Leslie Mack, and she was getting off early from that three-point range.
Leslie Mack, no question, a great outside shooter. She has 6 points here at halftime, and all coming from outside that 19-9 line. Great skip pass across that zone. They got it to Mack. Now inside, you gotta love the play of Hallie Gano. She got the weak side rebound the other way on the breakaway. The great pass from Candace Brown. She laid it in. Candace Brown looking for her again. She nailed the outside jumper. Inside, outside, doesn't make any difference. Hallie Gano can play the game. At
one point, Summers County led by 13, but back came Scott.
Nice job by Mackenzie White just to catch, square up, and shoot. And then she really split the defenders. Hallie Gano, Morgan Gore was there for Summers County, but Mackenzie White is tremendous, no question.
Look at the statistics from the first half of this ball game. See how the numbers shake out for these two teams. And shooting percentage fairly close. Turnovers, you expect that Summers County will trigger more turnovers. What stands out to you, Fred, about those numbers?
Well, the thing that stands out to certainly, first of all, points in the paint by Summers County. A little surprising considering the fact of the two big kids playing for Scott. One stat that you do not see there that is indicative of who Summers County is, they've had 12 steals in this first half alone. That sets a new state tournament record. In fact, it was 60 coming in for the tournament. They now have 72 in this tournament alone.
Wow, that's a big number. We're coming back. The second half of the AA championship game between Summers County and Scott is. Welcome back to the Charleston Civic Center, where we're getting ready for the second half. Summers County leads Scott 31-24 in the AA championship game. Along with Fred Persinger, I'm Hoppy Kercheval. And here are the two players we talked about, Fred, before this game began and as advertised.
As advertised, exactly. Mackenzie White got a slow start, but boy, she came on really strong. Only had 3 points in that first quarter, had 11 in the second quarter. And then what can you say about Hallie Gano? She's done it inside, outside. Really an excellent job. 20 points in the first half. So two key parts of this game going at each other, and it's worked so far, I think, for both squads.
She has saved her best game for the championship game. She's averaging 14 points a game in the tournament, and as you said, at 20 so far. She had averaging 9 steals, too. So she's just everywhere.
12 steals already, and they just came in a relentless first quarter. But a new state tournament record, 72 steals already, and they broke their old record. They set back in 01.
Quickly down to Hallie Gano. This time it's too strong. Mack is there, has a shot blocked by Atkins. Ball goes out of bounds, and it will be Scott basketball. Fred, we were talking before we came back. You think the first couple of minutes for John Porter's squad in the second half is going to be critical?
Very key. And again, when he got that breakaway layup, you could just see 2 points written all over it. Gano missed the easy shot, and now the long baseball pass up the floor. They get it to Shanice Price, and she connects. That's huge. They get the first 2 points of the second half.
So Price beats the defense, and it's a 5-point ball game. It was a 13-point game, and now Scott has the ball back.
And now talk about the rebounding effort. It was one and done until, again, that relentless pressure. And Gano comes through again.
That's part of the problem, is that even when you get the rebound, it doesn't mean you're going to get to take the ball down the court because they stay with it.
Yeah, do not relax, even though you grab that first rebound.
33-26. Summers County just underway here in the second half. Summers County trying to four-peat as AA champions way outside Mackenzie White. Too much distance there for her.
Yeah, way too far outside, and that cannot make John Porter happy. You have to have better looks than that. Mackenzie White, though, she has the green light regardless of where she gets the ball. She's that good a player. She loves her Mountaineers, by the way. She committed to play for Mike Carey's ball club when she was in the 8th grade. Well, that's a long time off. Still a couple of more years left. Interesting to see how she follows through on that.
Now Mack for three. Gets her own rebound, tries from a shorter distance, and good. So Leslie Mack comes out with the first 2 points of the half for Summers County. Now pressure, as expected, but Bias breaks it for the Bobcats. Skyhawks, I'm sorry. And 2 on the other end by Price.
A nice job by Shanice Price in this ballgame. Came in averaging a little less than 4. She already has 6. Nice baseline jumper.
Boy, does Hallie Gano have a sweet-looking shot or what?
She's so in control of that shot. Just a little finger flip with that one about 8 feet in front of the goal.
It's smooth. It looks effortless. I know it isn't, but it looks so controlled and smooth. Now Mack for the steal on the other end.
You cannot have a lazy pass against Summers County. They'll make you pay.
Ashley Brown looks inside. Comes back out and sets up. Dog there by Katie Tadlock. Now to Mack. Has the ball knocked away. Wayne Ryan wanted a foul.
No disruption in play. I think sometimes those are good no calls. It's obvious Summers County was going to retain the basketball.
Mack for three. Gano there with the rebound. And it will be Scott basketball.
I wonder how intense that halftime talk was in the Summers County locker room.
Timeout by John Porter. So John Porter obviously saying, look, this is a key point in this ball game, and we need to make sure we value these possessions. 37-28, Summers County with the lead. The lead is 9 for Summers County for Scott, Fred Persinger. Shanice Price, the senior, who started this game, has made a difference here in the second half for the Skyhawks.
No question. First start of the tournament. 3 of 4 shooting from the floor. Nice baseline jumper in this quarter. She has 6 points, about 2 points already better than her per game average coming into the tournament.
Comes Mackenzie White with a basketball. Coming up on 5 minutes to play in the third quarter.
I think a good timeout just a couple of moments ago by John Porter because, as you mentioned, these possessions are so key. Right now, you trail by 9. You can't force anything, and Mackenzie White thought she saw an opening. She picks up her second personal foul on the charge. Mackenzie White has to understand she has to get more folks involved. Academy Award presentation there by Hallie Gano on the fall, but again, Mackenzie White has to get Brittany Adkins, has to get Shanice Price, everyone else involved. Hallie Gano, she says, just give me the ball and let me show you what I can do.
24 for Hallie Gano, +1.
Nice movement through the lane. She saw the opening, went right between 2 defenders. Easy layup off glass from the left side.
Foul was on Brittany Adkins, her second. Hallie Gano, 5'11" junior. And Hannah has been quiet. She averages 14 points a game.
Has not scored.
Has not scored, but there's something cosmic. I mean, maybe they just share the points regardless of who gets them.
Well, I think it's a total team effort, no question, where they really, really come after the ball. You're not going to get more than one shot if you're Scott, the way Summers County likes to rebound the ball.
That's Brown. And Candace Brown in on the action. She has 5 points, 42-20. Now the steal by Hallie Gano, and she goes up. Shot is short and rebound by the Skyhawks. 42-28. Skyhawks need a bucket. Not there. Pushed the other way by Ashley Brown. Down to Hallie Gano. Wisely throws it off of Atkins, and now Summers County can reset.
The Bobcats know where they are on the floor every second of the game. She knew the ball was going out of bounds. She couldn't save it to a teammate. Just threw it off the ankle of the trailing defender.
Errant pass, now coming the other way is Tadlock. She's going to beat the defenders for the easy two. First field goal of the game for the senior guard, Katie Tadlock. 42-30, Summers County.
Most surprised person on that last play was Mackenzie White, who had the ball sent right into her.
Mack needs help to Ashley Brown. Mack on the baseline, off. Rebound taken by Candace Brown. Will Candace take over that one spot, that point guard position next year?
I think she will, but they have a couple of kids in middle school right now that they think can play for them, so who knows? It will be a battle.
Hallie Gano, 27th point, 14-point lead for Summers County. Great pass by White over to Tadlock. Now the other way, Hallie Gano on the baseline. This time comes up empty-handed. And the Skyhawks will run the other way. 3-on-2. Tadlock over to Bias, up and in.
Nice ball movement right now by the Scott Skyhawks. They're starting to get more kids involved, and they're running the floor a lot better.
So on back-to-back buckets, Wayne Ryan calls a timeout to discuss matters. The lead was up to 14 at one point, down to 10. So a good timeout by Wayne Ryan.
Nice job of running the floor. Katie Tadlock gets it over to Sierra Bias. She finishes strong. On the other side, you get Mackenzie White going through the lane. She saw the shovel pass coming and got it over into the hands of Katie Tadlock. So again, that's what we mentioned earlier before. Mackenzie White has to get other kids involved because she has some players around her. And when Scott is out running the floor hop, they're a much better basketball team.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you might be able to get out on that run because Summers County is always lingering back a little bit to see if they can steal that basketball once there's a rebound. They're not immediately streaking down the court, although they're a good defensive team. Now we have an official's timeout.
John Porter wanted the timeout now. He wanted to take the timeout. And the official's going over something with Wayne Ryan again. Wayne's going to question every call just to make sure that everyone's on the same page. Of course, veteran official Mark Mayo there with him.
Summers County took a 30, then Scott took a full timeout there. That's why we got back-to-back timeouts. But talking about Summers County, Fred, and the success they've had, it doesn't just start at the county level. The middle school teams are very good. Their summer leagues are good, so they really build up. Let's go to last year's championship game where they took on Lincoln.
They start the game the same way they do every game with that huddle. Hallie Gano, that's a familiar figure this year as well as last year. And Wayne Ryan and his crew celebrating what was then their third straight state championship. They're going for number 4. It's only been done one other time. That was in single A when Mercer Christian Academy did it. In fact, over a span of 9 years, Mercer Christian won 7 of those state titles. They won 3, lost 2 the next 2 years, and they came back with 4 straight. But Summers County, if they win today, that'll be 4 in a row. No one has ever won 5 in a row in girls basketball, and they have 7 of their top 10 returning, including the Gano twins.
Their JV team at Summers County, coached by Chad Metter, were undefeated this year for the second consecutive year.
14-0.
Their 7th grade team was 14-2. I'll stop there. Just keeps going in Summers County. Over to Gano.
If you'll notice, Hop, they try and get the ball to touch Hallie Gano's hands at least once every time down the floor unless someone has a breakaway layup. Everything goes through Hallie Gano.
It's like maybe Wayne Ryan said, we'll get it back up, but just settle down here a little bit.
Weak side rebound. Who was there to get it? It was knocked out of bounds by Mackenzie White, but Hallie Gano saw it coming off on the weak side, and she made the move for the ball.
10-point lead for Summers County with 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter.
A lot of players wait to see if it's going to be a good shot. Hallie Gano anticipates it's going to be a miss, and she wants to be where the ball is going to come off.
Candace Brown Rebound taken out by Atkins. Gets it to White. White running. Behind the back pass. A great pass, but just a little bit too late to get the bucket. But how do you like the pass by White? It was beautiful.
Great command of the basketball for Mackenzie White. Only a sophomore, but this young lady plays all the time. Sets up and takes the charge on that play from Candace Brown.
So Candace Brown picks up her third as White had the position. Here it comes again.
3-on-1, no look behind the back pass. She just couldn't finish, but certainly Mackenzie White put her in position to do so.
That was a nice play. That was one of the nicer plays. It didn't result in a basket. It was one of the nicer passes we've seen this tournament.
And that was the pass to make. Got it to the wide open Sierra Bias.
And there's Bias driving into the paint. Rebound taken out by Hannah Gano. Gets it to Ashley Brown. Too strong, out of bounds, turnover, Summers County.
Wayne Ryan saying, excuse me, what are we doing? He wants every play, every trip down the floor, offense or defense, to be perfect. That's what they work on.
Steal by Gano. Gano couldn't find any help. And when the ball got over to Lively, tried to get to Lively, it was stolen away by Bias, and Lively committed the foul.
Ball comes in, and there she is again. Callie Gano wanting the ball. Nice pass across the lane. They just couldn't corral it in time.
But this is where Scott can get themselves in a good position, because you got Summers County in a little bit of a lull here, and if Scott can get a couple of baskets, they'll be right back in this ballgame.
Well, no question. And again, I think we have to keep remembering the fact that Scott is a very good basketball team. Kelsey Lively picks up the personal.
Price with 2. She has 8, so it's down to an 8-point deficit for Scott. So Scott has clawed their way back into it, and a travel by Hannah Gano.
I think for Scott, though, to be even more successful in this fourth quarter coming up, they've got to get Brittany Adkins back involved. She has 2 points in the game, both coming in the first quarter, and she's not been really touching the ball at all.
Kinsey White with 2 on the spin move. And now it's 44-38. She has 16 points and a turnover the other way on Summers County, and suddenly the Scott fans have something to cheer about here.
And Wayne Ryan has something to say to his little point guard, Ashley Brown. Nice move by Mackenzie White. Nice drop step through the zone, put it up over the rim, through the basket.
When you defend her, and it's easy to say sitting here, you have to anticipate that spin move.
Oh, you do, because she's made it several times.
10 seconds left in the quarter. Mack with the basketball. Working on Price. Too strong. Rebound by Scott. 2 seconds, 1 second. Not going to get the shot off. And incredible action in the last 2 minutes of this third quarter, as Scott at one point was down by 14 points, but they fought their way back to within 6. Great job by the Skyhawks to work themselves back in a position to have a crack at this title. Fourth quarter of the AA championship game is coming up here on Met. We trailed by 14 points. Fred Persinger has cut the deficit to 6 for this final quarter.
Main reason why that young lady right there, Mackenzie White, 5 of 9 shooting from the floor, 16 points, 6 assists. She's had 3 block shots, 2 steals, and really handles the ball as well as any player you'll ever see play the game, and she's only a sophomore. They need a big fourth quarter from her.
And if you're Summers County, you got to be a little bit concerned. I was just about to say that Leslie Mack has shot only 4 of 16, but she comes out with a big bucket there. And now a steal on the other end. Ball gets away, and Summers County will have it.
But one thing, if I'm Summers County, that I'm a little more concerned about, they have 2 players that have scored 40 of their 46 points. That's not the team effort that Wayne Ryan looks for in every game.
Right, because you have Lively is 0 of 4, Ashley Brown is 0 of 6. Mack hasn't shot as well as she's capable of doing, so you do, if you're Wayne Ryan, worry a little bit about that.
Yeah, and Hannah Gano has only had 1 shot this afternoon. She's an integral part of what the Bobcats have done.
Hallie Gano from 18. Rebound. Somehow Brown comes out of there with it. Shot is short, but she's fouled.
You know, you could say that a lot about the way these Bobcats play. Somehow they come out of there with the ball.
Foul was on Price, and Candace Brown will make her second trip to the free throw line. Well, I think it's, well, I'm sorry, that was non-shooting. I thought she was in the shot there. Ashley Brown into Mack. Rebound taken by Price. He gets it to Bias, but a turnover, and now the Bobcats will have it back.
Candace Brown slapped it away from behind and chased the loose ball down.
Mack. It'll be Black basketball.
Boy, they're going after the rebounds in the first minute of this fourth quarter. They're just not bringing them in, something they had been doing in the first three quarters. How big is this trip down the floor for Mackenzie White and her teammates?
Summers County leading 46-38. Scott with the basketball. Atkins. Rebound taken out by Gano.
She had a good look at it from the foul line, just couldn't get it to go down.
Gano dribbles in off the glass. She has 29. Leads back out to 10.
Third meeting this season. First time, 10-point game. Second time, an 8-point game. 6:20 to go in the game. It's a 10-point game.
Cadlock gets it in the corner to Price. Great entry pass that time to White, but foul was before the basket. The foul's going to be on Ashley Brown. That's her second. Team foul number 4.
They want Mackenzie White to have the ball. They waited for her to come out top and get it.
Sierra Bias for 3. She has 10 points. Deficit down to 7 for Scott. Big shot by Sierra Bias. AA championship game. Summers County trying to win their 4th consecutive title, and Scott staying in the way. Good ball game here today at the Civic Center. Little backdoor. 31 for Hallie Gano. Boy, they lulled you to sleep and pulled the back door on you. 50-41. And John Porter calls a timeout. So Summers County out to a 50-41 lead. And the Skyhawks had a big 3 from Sierra Bias, but the back door puts the lead back out to 9 for the Bobcats. Junior Hallie Gano is thrilling the Summers County Bobcat crowd here this afternoon.
31 points in the ball game so far. Still has 5:23. She's 6 points away from tying the state tournament record for most points in a game held by Missy Spangler of Ritchie County in 2001.
But Scott is within reach. They've been down by as many as 14. They cut it to 7. They're now down by 9, 50-41.
Before we took that last break, there was a shot of Mackenzie White slapping the floor when she went to the bench. She knows you cannot trade baskets with Summers County right now. And when you get the ball, you have to score.
Price has it blocked by Candace Brown. It will still be Scott basketball. 5 minutes left to play in the ball game.
That young man right there knows this game is far from being over.
Tadlock working on Mack. Kicked by Hallie Gano.
Every time the ball goes to the floor, count on the fact that if you're handling the ball for Scott, you're going to be double teamed. Someone's going to come over and help the teammate out, and you're going to have a double team. Can you dribble through it? That time, Katie could not do so.
Ball stolen away. Frequent sight here in Summers County ball game. To Mack. Now Summers County content to maybe run a little clock here. Entry pass to Hannigan. Kicks to her twin sister, Powell. Brown tried to get it into Hannigan. Ball knocked away, but Summers County comes out of there with it. Down to 4 minutes, coming up on 4 minutes to play.
Teammates always picking teammates up. You make a mistake, you get the ball back.
Shot blocked, but there is Candace Brown for the putback. She's had a pretty good ball game here today, 7 points. That is a tough possession for Scott because Summers County runs a minute and gets 2 points.
And they did so many things right, Scott did. But in the end, they're still down 2 more than when they started off.
3, no good for Mackenzie White. All the way down to Mack. Makes a receiver-type catch. Hannigan wisely pulls it out there. And the Bobcats go back into that set they ran last time. Now, what do you do if you're John Porter here? Do you say you got to come out and guard more aggressively? Your clock's going to be a factor here.
Well, the thing, too, is Utica committed only 3 team fouls. You still have to commit quite a few fouls. There's 1 more. They still have 2 more to give before you're going to be shooting on the 7th one. So, again, I think that is something you have to look at. The clock is certainly not on his side. 3 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in this first half, or this game.
Officials timeout. The final 3:15 coming up in the AA championship game. Can Scott come back against Summers County? Summers County 4 minutes away, if they can hold on, 3 minutes away from their 4th consecutive championship. And there's Wayne Ryan.
Graduated from Alderson Broadus College. His record at Summers County High School as the head coach, 322-71. He's won 82% of his games. He graduated from Hinton High School. Please understand, Hinton and Summers County, same school, not a consolidation. They were just renamed Summers County.
Summers County, by the way, as Scott out of Boone County, good fan representation here today at Civic Center.
Tremendous. Fans understand what great basketball is about. They support these 2 teams.
Nice leaping shot by Sierra Baez. She got a good game here today. 12 points, 52-43. Scott still with an opportunity.
The key, though, is the defensive end of the floor. They have to get some stops. No way you're going to trade baskets and win this ball game if you're Scott.
So the Skyhawks need a stop and a bucket at the other end.
And I'm still a little surprised that Brittany Adkins only has 2 points. Big part of this ball club. Averages 12 points a game. Got 2 points in the first quarter. And really, offensively, has not been heard from.
Never really got the ball into her that much. Foul there by Atkins.
Yeah, you're right. And that's been the real key. And that's one of the things that the coaching staff with Summers County that I talked with before the game was concerned about. They felt like for sure they were going to go over their guards, dump the ball down inside to Brittany Adkins, and she has a very soft shot around the glass. But give credit to Summers County. Scott's just not been able to do that today.
Hannigan misses the free throw. She hasn't scored today.
Averages 14 points a game, and that's real interesting. Has just been off her game.
And her sisters had 31. Usually it's pretty even out. Lead back to 10, coming up on 2 minutes to play. Long 3, rebounded, taken by Hannigan. And Ashley Brown will take her time. If Summers County wins, that means that Ashley Brown would play on 4 consecutive championship teams.
Well, the Brown sisters certainly have a history of just great basketball in the Summers County area.
Sister Candace. That is Ashley to Candace.
Nice assist pass.
Lead is 12, and the Bobcats are going to four-peat, Fred.
They are definitely going to four-peat. Mackenzie White, she will not relinquish this until the final horn sounds. She's that kind of player. Right now, 19 points in the game for Mackenzie White, but I think it's going to be a foregone conclusion with 80 seconds remaining, just the way Summers County takes care of the basketball.
Yeah, Mackenzie White's had a great tournament, had an outstanding game today with 19 points. Foul called against Atkins. But again, that's only the 16th foul. So you're still not where you need to be here. You don't, it's not giving you a chance to get the ball back. And John Porter wants a 30-second timeout. 1 minute, 11 seconds to go in the AA championship game. It's Summers County 55 and Scott 46. The third meeting of these two teams in this season. Summers County going for their 68th consecutive victory. And for John Porter and the Skyhawks, a great season. He said if they had anything that went wrong this year, so sometimes they were so effective in games that it kind of go through the motions. They would say, well, we got this game in hand. They would lose their intensity at times. Now that was not a problem today because the opponent, but he said that was really the only drawback this season.
And that's something that certainly Summers County has never gone through. Wayne Ryan refuses them, whether it's in practice or a game, to lose focus. But you talk about John Porter, he's really done an excellent job over the last few years. This program coming around, every Class AA team in the state wants to be like Summers County. And I think the Scott Skyhawks are getting a little closer. John, a graduate of Hampshire High School, went to West Virginia University, but he's been in the Scott area for 29 years, and he really loves these kids. They've done an excellent job this season. If you come out of this game having lost a total of 5 games, and 3 of them are to Summers County, you can't hang your head too low about that.
Well, remember, too, this is their 4th trip to the state tournament, but they've never gotten past the first round, so you don't like to talk about moral victories, but you've gotten to the championship game, and you're going to lose today to the best team, one of the best teams ever in AA in West Virginia.
But you're going to bring back a couple of the starting 5 as Kristen Stevens, who normally starts, she'll be back. Mackenzie White is only a sophomore.
Yeah, the fact you have Mackenzie White coming back.
I'd start a team around her, wouldn't you?
Sure. One minute to play. 55-46 Summers County. Scott needs points in a hurry. They're going to get it to White. She'll launch the 3. Short. Rebound taken by Scott. The 3 is partially blocked by Candace Brown, but she got a hand up in there, committed the foul, and that's going to be 3 shots for Sierra Bias.
You mentioned earlier about Sierra Bias. I think she's had a wonderful game to let everyone know it's more than just Mackenzie White out there. When they didn't get the offense they needed today from Brittany Adkins and even Shanice Price to an extent, that inside game was almost non-existent. It's been Sierra Bias and Mackenzie White that's really done the bulk of the scoring for the Scott Skyhawks.
55-47. Now that was a potentially costly foul by the Bobcats because Scott had a chance to pick up 3 points with the clock stop. Now she made 1 of 2 so far. All right, makes 2 of 3. She has 14, so it's a 7-point game, still a 3-possession game, and a foul. So they're going to put Ashley Brown on the free throw line, and she's a 55% free throw shooter.
That's the head coach, John Porter, there. Has done his homework. He knows that Ashley Brown is a 55% free throw shooter. You take your chances, but kids like this, senior, you step up usually in these moments.
Ashley Brown, first point of the game for her, and a key one. 8-point lead now for Summers County. Makes 1 of 2, 50 seconds to play, 56-48 Summers County. Foul away from the ball.
Well, if you're Wayne Ryan, you can't be happy about that. You don't want to stop the clock. With 45 seconds remaining, your team trying to win their 4th straight state title, and you're going to stop the clock. Only the 16th foul on Summers County, not a shooting situation.
With the ball in the hands of Mackenzie White. White penetrates. Great shot off the glass by Mackenzie White. 21 points. I don't know where that came from.
You're not supposed to make that shot. You don't make that shot. Off balance. Actually shot it after she'd already passed the front of the rim.
Now, Fred, let's regroup here a minute because there are 29 seconds remaining. And the lead is down to 6 after this amazing shot by Mackenzie White.
She had already passed the front of the iron and threw it and banked it in.
So you put Mack on the free throw line, a 74% free throw shooter.
Well, here's the bad part about having to foul now because of the time. You can't really be choosy as to who you want to foul. Certainly, if you could, you wouldn't put Leslie Mack there because she's 74%, best free throw shooter on this ball club, even though she misses the second of 2.
7-point, 3-possession game. So you got, now the shot is partially blocked. Bobcats take it, and that's going to be it. Might get another foul here by Scott. But that was a huge possession for Scott to get back in it. Hannah Gano fouled. Foul committed by Stevens. So Hannah Gano will go to the free throw line. And with 10 seconds left in the ball game and a 7-point lead, and Hannah Gano at the free throw line, the Summers County fans are standing and cheering their hometown Bobcats.
Summers County fans are, but Wayne Ryan is not. He has still got that scowl look of a coach to thinking, oh my gosh, I can lose this ball game, and coaching right to the very last second. He has been so successful, and one reason why is the intensity of which he makes sure every player stays in the game.
Long three, no good. The Summers County Bobcats, for the 4th year in a row, win the AA championship as Coach Wayne Ryan pumps his fist, hugs his girls. Congratulations to the Bobcats. What a great run by Summers County. 68 wins in a row, and the last one is their 4th championship in AA as they beat Scott 58-50. Just a great game classic game by Summers County. That swarming defense where they put the pressure on the opponents. They caused turnovers in this game. They had 21 steals. They forced Scott into 25 turnovers. And what a game by Hallie Gano, the junior, where she scored 31 points. When we come back, we'll talk with Victorious head coach Wayne Ryan here at the Charleston Civic Center. They're the victorious Summers County Bobcats as they have just claimed the AA championship, beating Scott 58-50. Fred Persinger standing by, victorious head coach Wayne Ryan.
Thanks, Hop. And again, it's such a pleasure to stand beside a champion. 4 straight state titles. I know when we talk about these Summers County Bobcats, a lot of folks are going to talk about offense. Talk to me about the defense you guys play.
It's outstanding defense. These kids play so hard, so together defensively, and just lay it on the line with so much energy. And I couldn't be prouder of them. You know, we beat an outstanding team today in Scott. It's the 3rd time this year we've beaten them, and all the marbles were on the line. Our kids had a lot of pressure on them with the win streak and consecutive titles and everything. So what a day to be a Lady Bobcat, and I just thank God for this experience.
Wayne, no question you've got a special group of young ladies around you. You have 7 of the top 10 coming back. It is a program that you guys have instilled at Summers County.
Well, it is, and you know, right now we've won some state championships in a row, and that's so great. But you know, every year our goal is just to be the best we can be, and that's what we work on. And we work with them from the time they're little, and you know, we're going to be the best we can be every year. Right now, we're on top.
All right, they got after me last year for doing this, but I have to do it again. 4 in a row you've won, 7 of the 10 coming back. No one's ever won 5 in a row.
We'll try to do that. You know, that's a challenge. We'll try to do that. You know, that's why we play every day. That's why we practice. That's why the kids work hard in the off season. So, you know, we'll take the challenge, but right now we're going to enjoy the moment in this 4th consecutive title and this perfect season.
Enjoy it. Congratulations again, my friend.
Fred, thank you.
There you go. Wayne Ryan, state champions once again of girls state basketball.
Thank you, Fred Persinger. I remember a year ago when Fred challenged him, said, are you going to win 4? I thought, what are you you're putting that yoke around the guy for to win 4. But here we are a year later. They got 4, and 5 would not be out of the question. The player of the game presented by Friends of Coal, committed to clean energy, your job, and a better quality of life for all West Virginians. The player of the game is right there, Hallie Gano, the junior. Here are her numbers: 14 of 24 shooting, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 10 rebounds. She had a double-double, 31 total points. She also had 3 assists, and she was right where the ball was all day. Just a great sense of being around the basketball. There she got ahead of the break, went up for the easy 2, off the dribble, drives in around 2 players, gets a couple there, takes the assist from her sister, 2 more. And Hallie Gano had 20 points in the first half, added 11 more in the second half, ended up with 31 points. Congratulations to Hallie Gano. She is our Friends of Coal player of the game. What an effort by Hallie Gano in this ball game, Fred. You talked about it at the very beginning, said she's going to probably have a good game today, but I don't know if anybody expected 31 points.
I don't think so. I'm sure Wayne Ryan didn't expect 31 points. I know Hallie Gano didn't expect it because it is such a team effort for this Summers County Bobcat team. They didn't shoot extremely well, 37% from the floor, but again, 21 steals in this ball game.
Congratulations to the Scott Skyhawks and Coach John Porter for getting here, getting to the championship game. That program's come a long way.
No question, and it's going to continue to just improve and improve because, again, as we talked about it, Mackenzie White, only a sophomore, makes the all-tournament team. She'll be back to lead this Scott Skyhawk ball club next year.
The Gano sisters and also Leslie Mack on that all-tournament team, along with Ashley Brown, the senior. So, one in the books here in Charleston. The AA championship game has been decided as Summers County, the Bobcats, Coach Wayne Ryan, win their 4th title, tying the record held by Mercer Christian. The final once again from the Charleston Civic Center Coliseum in the AA championship game. Summers County defeats Scott by a score of 58-50. For Fred Persinger, I'm Hoppy Churchill.